So, you wanna know which shirt exclusive gear ability is best? Well, I got bad news for you. They're all kinda bad. Here's my subjective-ish take on which ones you should consider using. Number 5. Ability Doubler. You can only get this ability on your Splatfest shirt, which means you can only use it about once each week a month. The effect is pretty simple. It doubles the effects of each sub-ability the shirt has, which, if you do the math, makes this a completely worthless shirt. You see, each main ability adds 10 points to its stack, and each sub adds only 3. So if you double 3 subs, you're stuck with a grand total of 18 points, as opposed to the possible 19 if you just wore a shirt with one main ability instead. Now, don't get me wrong, this is the best shirt to use for farming chunks. It's easy to level up and cheap to scrub. But if you aren't using this to farm chunks, and it's not Splatfest, then you should be using a better main ability, like number 4, Thermo Ink. Out of the 4 regularly available shirt abilities, Thermo Ink seems to be the least used one, and for good reasons. All this ability does is tag an enemy for 12 seconds after getting a direct hit on them with your main weapon. So this ability is completely useless for one-hit weapons like blasters. Also, you're the only one who's able to see the enemy, and only if they're far away enough. You're better off using point sensors, then at least your teammates can see the enemy too. On the bright side, you can tag multiple enemies at once, and the effect will not go away once you get splatted. It's pretty good for keeping tabs on your enemies, but that's about it. Number 3. Ninja Squid. This ability is kinda speciest, since Octolinks can wear it too. It's also a pretty popular ability, if not the most used shirt exclusive one. However, it isn't that amazing. Ninja Squid will decrease your swim speed by about 20%, so you'll have to equip some swim speed in order to be invisible and have normal swimming speed. The problem with this ability is that while it removes the large ripples left when swimming, you still leave indents in the ink as you go through it, and the enemy can still hear you swimming. It also doesn't work when you're climbing walls, or decrease the effect of tracking abilities. Overall, I'd say this is a cool ability that most people can see some pretty good use out of. However, as you start to face more skilled players, it starts to lose its edge. Number 2. Haunt. This is kind of like Thermo Ink, but better. Haunt will have the same tagging effect as Thermo Ink, except this one lasts for 26 seconds, and you're still the only one who can see the enemy. This ability is limited in that if the enemy who splatted you gets splatted or falls off the stage, the effect will wear off. So why is this number 2? Well, this is a great insurance ability, and it will help you locate strong enemies and campers, but it also has one more super useful power. If you splat an enemy who is currently affected by a haunt, they will suffer the effects of Respawn Punisher. Meanwhile, you won't have to worry about any of its negative side effects. And that brings us to number 1, Respawn Punisher. At its base, Respawn Punisher will make any splatted enemy take an additional 0.7 seconds to respawn and lose 15% more of their special gauge. However, if you get splatted, it will take you an additional 1.1 seconds to respawn, and you'd lose an additional 22.5% of your special gauge. Worry not, for you can stack Special Saver to negate some of the gauge draining effects. But there's more. This ability will stack with that of an enemy, so if you and an enemy are both wearing Respawn Punisher, whoever gets splatted will have to wait an additional 1.8 seconds and lose 37.5% more of their special gauge. And if we're wondering, yes, this stack will work if you, wearing Haunt, splat someone with Respawn Punisher who is being haunted. Wait a second, this sounds like a horrible ability. Well, it's a very complex and risky ability to bring into battle. However, those who take the risk shall reap the reward. If you're very skilled with your weapon, you can wreak havoc with this one. Also, while all the other abilities are very limited and conditional, this one works every time you splat an enemy. That's what I think anyways. What about you? Which of these gear abilities do you think is best? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Since this is the last exclusive abilities video, is there any non-exclusive ability you'd like to know more about?